Hi everyone, welcome to today's Altcoin Bible. As always, if you want to watch the extended version of this session, make sure to become a newsletter subscriber by clicking the link below, and you can watch my in-depth review of Bitcoin, and I discuss what I think is happening in the US with the Bitcoin reserve potential and the regulatory easing around crypto, and just a bit of a pathway from here. I think it's always good to have a high level focus. I'm seeing a lot of people not seeing the forest for the trees. So let's crack into the charts. I want to start with my cherry ripe and its XRP. Now, in the extended version, I just sort of explain why XRP and others like Solana and a few are moving in my view, but it's just technically a really beautiful chart. And if we just pop out to the daily, we can see what I mean by that. It's in a very clear uptrend. It's broken out of this huge pattern pennant triangle, and now it's up here consolidating again, and it looks like it's ready to go on another run. So based on the recent history of XRP, the higher highs, higher lows, and now this compression leading towards a breakout, I'm really like this chart. I think it's really spectacular. Now, in terms of targets here, we want to be a little bit careful that this doesn't reverse, and I'll get to the buy zones in just a sec, but I drew a Fibonacci extension from the low of this move up to the and dragged it back to the low of the compression, and we got this spitting out, giving us some Fibonacci numbers above, and it's really all you can go on when you have clear air above, outside of watching momentums and other factors like that, including the Bitcoin chart can be quite useful as well. But if we're just hypothesizing where this can go, I think $4.30 is quite good in terms of the breakout target, just under $4.20, that type of region. And stretch goals can be just under $5 up in these Fibonacci levels. Now, I generally think, as a rule of thumb, these bigger patterns, if they resolve to the upside or downside, we generally at least hit double the size of the pattern from the low to the high. So that, to my eye, is probably around $4.50, that type of region. But we can always see extended momentum or another, like for example, another move up like that, and we just continue to roll higher in that realm. So I really like XRP here for upside moves. Now, if you're thinking, where might I enter? It's a really good question. Where might I enter? Well, I'm looking at it here in terms of it had a first fake out, which is always nice to see, that we came back down and retested the low. So I don't know whether this is the true breakout. We're going to have to wait and see. And it also depends on how greedy you want to be. Do you want to layer in orders all down here, risking a potential full breakdown? Or are you able to just buy some here and then wait for a daily close, and if it closes beneath this level, you can cut and run? Completely up to you, but I'd be looking to form a small position here above. It's already on top of the 10 EMA and also the green line, which is the it's almost on top of, if it closes above that 20 SMA, the green line, then I'd be very, very interested. But right now, I think forming a position and maybe having some limit orders scaling back down to the downtrend, probably about 2 to 3%. I think that's quite smart. You also have a very clear overhead level where I think you can get really aggressive up here on XRP, $3.20, that type of region. If we start at $3.30 rather, once we're above these peaks, the bodies of these candles, which is really obvious, will be ready to launch. And I think that's a smart way of looking at it and adding to your position over time. But just broadly, I like the momentum. I like everything about this chart, really, but still a little bit cautious until we, full on breakout. All right, let's move on to my one to watch, which could really well be a cherry ripe as well. Solana. So Solana with the Trump meme coin caused a bit of a frenzy, but I love what the meme coin frenzy has actually done for Solana here. It has launched it from the lows here, breached the all-time high region, and really just slammed into all those sell orders, which likely were there, rinsing the shorts that were in place. And then we had a 30% move back to rinse the longs that were in there and also soak up a lot of liquidity, which is great. So the compression we're seeing here at the all-time high region, I love it. I think it's fantastic. And this is a really strong maneuver. It's come back down to the 10 EMA on the daily, volume support, and now it looks like it's found acceptance above and it wants to roll higher. Just go to the 8 hour for a little bit more nuance here. You can just see how gorgeous that breakout is. Whether it's the fake out before another move back, I'm not sure, but this is where you just want to be a little bit careful. But in terms, it's like XRP. I think the safest place to really get aggressive on this is if it flips that as resistance to support in that region. And I think to buy is, layering down through this region. You can also take on a little bit of risk now, I think, form a position. That's maybe my thinking, how I'd approach it. And in terms of those regions above, I've just done and I'll do it again so you can see, because I did it in the extended version, but just here. So low to the high, draw back to the low of the compression, and then we see this overlaid. So I've got this horizontal here at $440, perfectly on the 1.618. I think this, at least hits that 320, 350 mark if it expands from here, and we could see like a really nice extension of Solana until it finally wants to do whatever it wants to do at the top. But we have, I think this is the advanced leg. We're about to hit the real big move. If this level flips. So I'd be looking at 358 and stretch goals 400, 413, and then 432. That might be the top for Solana, but I don't know. I think we probably roll higher with everything happening in the US and the US based coins. And we maybe consolidate through here until maybe mid-year. I know I'm trying to forecast ahead a little bit here, but this could be the Q1 move, and then we have sort of the summer doldrums, and then Solana could have another move up to a new high or retrace back to the high. I'm not sure, but just TA wise, that's how I'm looking at it, guys. And yeah, this is a really strong move. I just wouldn't be concerned about Solana until it loses 236, that type of region. We could really roll over there. It looks fantastic against the Bitcoin chart as well. Now, my danger zone for today is ICP. Now, there actually aren't too many charts that look like this, and some of them are holding up better, but this is what a chart that I just don't want a bar of looks like. And you just see here lower highs each time, just getting smashed, like a bouncing ball that gets weaker each time. And we've lost, key horizontal support, and now we're flirting with this sort of breaker underneath this support level. I just don't want to lose this. And regardless, it just looks weak. It looks like we want to, come through here and really feel out this, support band down to the 200 here. So I think this is coming down to $9.20, maybe a little bit lower. At worst case scenario, it might actually get down to here. It really depends on the market condition. If Bitcoin ramps here and altcoins just, move, this may bottom here and roll through, but there's just no need to, sort of be looking at something like this at the moment, buying a falling knife. It can go anywhere, and it lines up with the RSI too. It's just this horrible sort of head and shoulders momentum that just can't go anywhere, and it's now rolling over. So I think this needs to bottom out in terms of momentum, and also on the chart. Wouldn't be interested in ICP until it follows this kind of squiggle and really gets above this peak over here. Once it's closing above this level at about $10.90, then I'd be interested in ICP again, and then really interested if it gets above $12.50. But right now, very, very ugly, weak price action. It's not something that I want to be in. So definite danger zone for me. If you pick up any ICP down in these zones, I think just these overheads are going to be really challenging for it to break back through $9.20, $9.60, and then the downtrend support at $10.10, that type of region. So they're the type of areas you could look to, I would be looking at to risk off. So guys, hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'll also be dropping my newsletter tomorrow all around Bitcoin pairs, how I'm approaching them, and what I think a good strategy from here is. So if you're interested in that, make sure to become a subscriber, and you get the extended version that I print today as well. So have a great day, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.